Fine. Once again, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Today, I'm going to discuss about a very important concept which carries a good weightage in the board examination. And the concept is capacitors. This concept will have four derivations which are very important. Whenever the derivation is going to come, I'll tell you that you please practice this derivation so that make a note of it and practice it. For students who are unable to listen or join through Google Meet, I'm going to record this class and I'm going to send it through WhatsApp so that you can download and you can re-listen one more time. Hope it is clear. Now I'm going to start the concept now. If any doubt is there, you can ask me. I'm going to share my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Seema. Yesterday we have discussed about electrostatics of a conductor. Have you done the homework? I have told one question.
Sir.
Any doubt in that question? You have to give response so that I can continue. Otherwise, I may have a doubt whether you are listening or not because I am sharing my screen. I can't see whether you are present in Google Meet or not. Uttar, Gumi, Jeet, DP Angu. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. Just give me a minute. I think someone joined. Okay. Anyway. So, what is a capacitor? Have you ever heard about the term capacitor before? Any one of you? Did you heard the term capacitor? So please respond, say yes or no.
No, sir.
No. Okay. I'll give a small hint for you. Everyone is having ceiling fan in your home. Ceiling fan is there or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, if you see a ceiling fan, if you open the dome, there will be a device with white color in a cylindrical shape. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That the device name is called. It is called condenser. Condenser is nothing but capacitor alone. So that is called as a capacitor. Am I clear? Without that
Yes, sir.
condenser
Yes, sir.
or capacitor, you can't run the fan. So there you are using a capacitor. Not only that, if you see any motherboard, it can be your cell phone, it can be your laptop, it can be your TV, or any motherboard. If you see, there will be some small devices which are present in cylindrical shape. Different shapes are there, but mostly cylindrical as well as spherical in shape will be there. So those devices are called capacitors. One more use I'll tell you. If you have tube light, for tube light, now the starters are automatic starters are coming, but in olden days we used to have a starter actually. Even some houses are going to have this type of starters. Clear? So that starter is also called as a capacitor, right? So what is a capacitor actually? Capacitor is nothing but it is a device which stores energy or charge. Which stores energy or charge is called a capacitor. I repeat, a device which stores energy or charge is called as a capacitor. So if you want me to give a correct idea where we got this capacitor, uh, before summer vacation when we are having a first chapter, at the time we discussed Gauss law second application, that is a plane sheet, infinite plane sheet, electric field through an infinite plane sheet. Have you remembered that?
Yes, sir.
After that infinite plane sheet, we calculated the electric field E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
We have done some applications by taking two infinite plane sheets. We have kept together, separated by distance, region 1, region 2, region 3. You remember this?
Yes, sir.
There I introduced capacitor. Whenever two infinite plane sheets of opposite surface charge density separated by a distance, small distance, will act as a capacitor. Clear? So that capacitor will be used to store energy. Right? So capacitor is a device which is allowed to store charge or energy.
Energy.
The value of that capacitor, how much amount of energy is stored, is represented in terms of electrical capacitance. Electrical capacitance. Just like a resistor, resistance. A resistor is a device, resistance is how much value it is. In the same way, how much energy can be stored is measured in terms of electrical capacitance, and the device is called a capacitor. This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by electrical capacitance? See here, the measure of the ability of a conductor to store charges is known as capacitance or capacity. So what do you mean by capacitance then? The measure of the ability of a conductor to store charges is known as capacitance or capacity. So how much amount of charge it can store is measured in terms of a physical quantity called electrical capacitance. Now, how it is represented? How electrical capacitance came? Now remember carefully, always the amount of charge flowing through a conductor or flowing through a wire is dependent on its potential difference alone. Will you agree with this? Suppose you have a 3-volt battery, you have a 9-volt battery. Which battery can make more charges to move? 9-volt battery, right?
Yes, sir.
So, charge is always directly proportional to potential difference. Charge is always directly proportional to potential difference. That means charge is equal to some constant into potential difference. This constant is called proportionality constant, named as capacitance. Named as capacitance. I hope the point is clear. I repeat again. Whenever you want to store the charge, the amount of charge stored is directly proportional to the potential difference applied. If you apply more potential difference, it will have more amount of charge. If you apply less potential difference, it will have less amount of charge. Best example I'll tell you. You take a small bottle and a large bottle. Now here bottle is nothing but a device, so called a capacitor, actually we can consider. Right? Now the water which you are going to fill is nothing but the charge. So which bottle can fill more water, small one or bigger one?
Bigger one.
Bigger one. So obviously the capacity is more now for that.
Yes, sir.
So there alone you are getting the point now, capacitance or capacity. Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So, just like how we are able to store the water, in the same way, there is an electrical device which can store charge. Instead of water, we are going to store the charge, and it is completely dependent on whom? The potential difference, which is nothing but the size of the bottle. This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the formula for capacitance? C is equal to Q by V.
Q.
Remember this.
B.
C is equal to Q by V. Clear? So this is about capacitance now, and the formula for capacitance. So the formula for capacitance is nothing but C is equal to Q by V, or directly you can remember Q equal to CV. Right? Now, whenever you are going to give 1 volt, if the potential difference applied is 1 volt, then what is the value of C? The value of C is equal to the charge itself. The value of C is equal to the charge itself. So then we can define it as capacitance of a conductor is defined as the charge required to rise its potential through 1 unit. I repeat again, capacitance of a conductor is defined as the charge required to rise its potential through 1 unit. So how much amount of charge you are going to use to get the potential of 1 unit? It is nothing but its capacitance. Best example, 1 liter bottle. 1 liter bottle is the capacitance actually. So whenever you are able to fill 1 liter of water inside the bottle, that is nothing but its capacitance of that bottle. Clear? In the same way here also. Now what is SI unit of capacitance and what is the symbol? The SI unit of capacitance is farad, or simply we can say Coulomb by volt. If you see the formula, it is nothing but Q by V. Charge is measured in terms of Coulomb and potential is measured in terms of volt. So it is nothing but Coulomb per volt, which is also called as farad. Farad is a scientist name. So as an honor, we are going to represent the SI unit of capacitance as farad, capital F. Right? Now, coming to the symbol of capacitance, the symbol of capacitance is nothing but you draw 2 parallel lines equally. If any one is shorter, it becomes battery. Remember that. 2 parallel lines separated by a small distance will act as a capacitance. Is this clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is about the small information regarding capacitance and as well as capacitor. Now, when we can say that the capacitance of a capacitor is 1 farad, when 1 coulomb of charge rises the potential of a conductor by 1 volt, then its capacitance is 1 farad. So if 1 coulomb of charge brings a potential of 1 volt in a conductor, then its capacitance is equal to 1 farad. That is the definition of 1 farad. Now see here, since 1 coulomb is a big amount of charge, the capacitance will be usually in the range of millifarad, microfarad, nanofarad or picofarad. Now in class 10, I think you have calculated one problem. How many number of charges are present in 1 coulomb of charge? I mean, how many number of electrons are present in 1 coulomb of charge? One question we have solved. I don't know whether you have remembered it or not. How many electrons will be there? 6.3 into 10 to the power 18 electrons will be there in 1 coulomb of charge, which is a very huge amount. So, as 1 coulomb is a very big amount of charge, the capacitance generally we are going to measure in terms of very smaller units, like millifarad. Millifarad means 10 to the power minus 3 F. Microfarad. Microfarad means 10 to the power minus 6 F.
10 to the power minus 6.
Yes. Nanofarad means 10 to the power
10 to the power minus
minus
9.
9. So, and picofarad. Picofarad is nothing but 10 to the power
Minus 2.
minus 12. So, minus 3 is milli, minus 6 is micro, minus 9 is nano, minus 12 is pico. So, generally, capacitance is measured in terms of these units alone, not farad, because 1 coulomb is a very bigger amount. We are not going to discuss about this one because it is a simple idea alone. Just look into it. Capacitance of an isolated spherical conductor. Suppose you have a spherical conductor. Spherical means it is a sphere itself, right? So what is the capacitance of that spherical conductor? That we have to calculate. So I am considering a spherical conductor whose radius is r. Let there is a charge plus q. Now let a charge q be given to the sphere which is assumed to be concentrated at the center. So where I have kept the charge?
At the center.
At the center we have kept the charge.
At the center.
Yes. Now potential at any point on the surface is, so whenever you keep a charge at the center, what is the potential on the surface?
Zero.
On the surface.
Yes.
What is the formula for potential, ma?
Potential.
I told four formulas. Four formulas are there which are very similar: electric force, electric field, electric potential energy. Four formulas are there. So in that one formula I am asking electric potential. You have to revise your concepts. I'll tell you 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
1 by 4 pi
Yes.
epsilon naught q by r. Please don't forget, remember these four formulas because we have to use them in different places till we complete our chapter. So the potential at any point on the surface is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r. So I got the potential. Then what is the formula for capacitance? Tell me. Capacitance formula is nothing but C equal to Q by V. So if you apply that formula C equal to Q by V and substitute the value of V as Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R. So what is the capacitance you are going to get? 4 pi epsilon naught into R. Understood?
Yes, sir.
That is the capacitance of a spherical conductor. So in 1 mark or 2 mark they may ask a question. Find the capacitance of an isolated spherical conductor, like that. So then you have to calculate this one. C equal to 4 pi epsilon naught into R. First of all we have to calculate the potential at any point on the surface by using the formula. Then use the formula C equal to Q by V. You will get the answer. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
And some points we are going to discuss regarding this. What are the points? If you see the formula, the capacitance of a spherical conductor is directly proportional to its radius. Again I am saying, larger the size, more the capacitance. Smaller the size, less the capacitance. So as the radius increases, the capacitance will also increases. The above equation is true for conducting spheres, hollow or solid. So this equation is valid only for conducting spheres. If you take an insulating sphere and if you ask, sir, what is the capacitance? We can't say the capacitance because insulating means it cannot store charge. Only conducting spheres will store the charge, whether it can be hollow or it can be solid one. So that's why this equation is valid only for true conducting spheres. Now if the sphere is in a medium, so then what happens? Again I am saying, whenever you have, instead of air or vacuum, some other medium was there, epsilon naught is replaced by K. Remember this. Epsilon naught is replaced by K. I hope you remember which we discussed in the previous chapters. First chapter I have discussed this. Right? So whenever any other medium is present, the capacitance will increase. Remember this point carefully. Instead of air medium, if any medium is present inside the substance, the capacitance will increase. So it becomes a epsilon naught into epsilon naught R. Yeah. So by how much it will increase? By epsilon naught times it will increase. Remember this. So by K times it will increase actually. If you want to find out the capacitance of Earth, it's a general information, no? Just for fun. The capacitance of the Earth is 711 microfarad. So that is because you know we are going to give Earth connection for our homes. You remember, to remove the excess charge, what we are going to do? We are going to give the Earth connection. That means charge will flow through the Earth so that we will not get any current shock. Every home will have Earth connection. If the home is not having Earth connection, the devices are going to have some excess charge on their surface, so that when you touch them you will get electric shock. So to avoid that, we are going to give an earth connection. So earth is a good conducting sphere, so it will also have capacitance. What is the capacitance of earth? 711 microfarad. That means 711 into 10 to the power minus 6. Now I am going to the next one, principle of capacitance. Very important, listen carefully. What is the principle of capacitance? Step 1. Plate A is positively charged and B is neutral. See the picture carefully. So this is the statement which we have told, and that is a picture. Plate A is positively charged and B is neutral. Neutral means no charge there on B. Now,
Sir.
yes ma'am.
सर जो पहले का एक वो था जस्ट नाउ वाला उसका फिर पूरा स्टॉप कर देना लाइट था
Sorry.
वाला स्लाइड
Previous slide.
सर इससे जो नेक्स्ट वाला हाँ वो स्लाइड को थोड़ा शो कर
Okay, fine. Right. Now, what is the principle of a capacitance? Generally, this question can be asked in 2 marks. So, step 1. What is the step 1? Plate A is positively charged and B is neutral. So, whenever one plate is positively charged and B is neutral, now if you see, A is having positive potential and B is having zero potential. So, there is a potential difference now between plate A and B. Let that potential be taken as V. That potential is taken as V. Step 2. When a neutral plate B is brought near A, charges are induced on B. In the first chapter we have discussed this point. What is this process called? There are 3 types of processes are there to induce to make a neutral body into a charged body. What is this process called?
Q is equal quantization. Quantization.
Think little close you got. What is the third method actually? There are 3 methods are there to make a neutral body into a charged body. What is that method?
Additive.
Additive and all this nothing but characteristics of a charge, properties of charge. I am talking about methods of charging. Okay, I'll tell you.
Insulator.
Friction,
Insulator.
conduction, and third one is
Insulator.
no, induction.
Oh, induction.
It's not insulator, it is induction. Friction, conduction, induction. Now tell me, out of these 3, which method is this?
Induction.
Induction method, third method, because we are bringing close. Friction means both should be in contact and you have to rub them. Conduction means a charged body kept in contact with the uncharged body. Induction means a charged body brought nearer to the uncharged body. So here we are following the third one, because you see the step. When a neutral plate B is brought near A, charges are induced on B such that the side near A is negative and the other side is positive. Because whenever you bring an uncharged body close to a charged body, opposite charges are going to induce. Opposite charges are going to induce. So I am going to bring nearer to that. Now see how the charges are going to induce here. So here how many positive charges are there? Those many negative charges will appear. Now as the body is neutral, those many positive charges will be there now. And those positive charges are repelled by these positive charges, so they appear on the other side here. Now by giving earth connection, what we are going to do is we are going to remove it. Even now also, what is the potential? It is equal to V alone, because still the plate is neutral. Now the potentials of the system of A and B in step 1 and step 2 remains the same, because the potential due to positive and negative charges on B cancel out. I told you how many negative charges are there, those many positive charges are there, so they cancel out. Step 3. when the farther side of B is earth, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give the earth connection here. For which plate I'm going to give the earth connection? For plate B. So whenever you give the earth connection, what happens? The positive charges are said to be neutralized by earth, so that only negative charges are present on B. So I have given the earth connection. When I give the earth connection, what happens? The negative charges will only appear, but the positive charges have been neutralized. So whenever the positive charges are said to be neutralized, the potential decreases to V. So there is a decrease in potential. Now the net potential of the system decreases due to the sum of positive potential on...
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Please check your internet connection.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
I understand. Please check your internet connection alone. I am using school one. It's good. Don't worry. I'll share the video in the WhatsApp group. Try to be in a network zone so that you will get it.
Okay, sir.
Now the net
Okay, sir.
potential of the system decreases due to the sum of positive potential on A and negative potential on B. Because whenever you are going to give the earth connection, B becomes negative potential and A is still positive. Now whenever you want to calculate the potential difference, what happens? This potential will decrease the potential of A only now. So to increase the potential to the same value as was in step 2, an additional amount of charges can be given to plate A. So we have to add some more charges again to bring back the potential to V. This means the capacity of storing charges on A increases. I hope you are getting my point.
No, sir. Once more.
Okay, again I'll repeat. See the first picture, everyone, carefully. In the first picture, we have a positive charged plate and there is a neutral plate. Now both are having some potential difference because A is a positive potential, B doesn't have any potential. So what is the total potential? Whatever A is going to have, that potential will be the potential difference between them. So what is the potential here? V alone. Now whenever I am going to bring plate B nearer to plate A, what will happen? Because of induction, B will have negative charges on one side and positive charges on the other side. So when you are going to give the earth connection, what happens? The positive charges which are present on the other side will get neutralized. So plate B only will have what type of charge now? Negative charge.
Negative.
Initially there is no charge on B, but now there is a negative charge on B. So what happens? The potential will decreases. By how many times? V times it will decrease.
V.
Small v times. This is capital V, this is small v. How much potential B is going to have, that much potential will decrease. But what is my aim? I want to make the potential constant. In order to bring back the potential to capital V, so what I have to do? I have to add some more charges now. Best example I'll tell you. There is a bottle.
Yes, sir.
There is a bottle and there is a full of water in that. Some person drank the water. Some water has been drank by some person. So what happens to that amount? It will decrease or not?
Yes.
Again to bring back the complete 1 liter, suppose 1 liter, what I have to do? I have to refill the water now.
Yes, sir.
So in the same way, again to bring back the potential to V, what I have to do here? I have to add some more charge on plate A, so that the potential will increases by initial way. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
I hope it is clear for everyone now.
Yes, sir.
So the system so formed is called a capacitor. So now this system is called as a capacitor. Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So this capacitor is used in your fan, in your devices like starter, etc., etc. So whatever the charge which has been removed, in order to bring back the potential. So whenever you are going to bring back that potential, obviously you have to add the charge. So whenever it gets completely full, again it gets discharged. Again the charge will be removed by the earth connection. again it will decrease. Again from source, what you are going to do? Again you are going to refill that one. So it is a continuous process in the fan also. So charging, discharging will take place continuously. Understood now? Just like whenever you are thirsty, you are going to drink the water, and again you are going to refill the bottle. Again you are going to drink the water, again you are going to refill. Again you drink the water, again you refill. That is how the capacitor is going to work also here. But here instead of water, what we are using? Charge we are using. Instead of bottle, we are going to use two plates separated by a small distance. That's it. Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So this is the principle of capacitance. So whenever they ask about principle of capacitance, you please write these three steps. That's it. I'm going to move to the next concept. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Any doubt so far?
No, sir.
Now, the first derivation, capacitance of a parallel capacitor. The first derivation, out of 4 derivations, this is the first one. So, what is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor? You see the heading itself, parallel plate. That means you're going to take two plates which are kept parallel to one another, just like in the previous slide we have seen. And whenever you keep two parallel plates together with respect to one another, what is its capacitance? Now, see here. Parallel plate capacitor is an arrangement of two parallel conducting plates of equal area separated by air medium or any other insulating medium such as paper, mica, glass, wood, ceramic, etc. So this arrangement of two parallel conducting plates of equal area separated by a certain distance and a medium will act as a parallel plate capacitor. Best example, you take two books and keep them parallel to one another, separated by a small distance. That will act as a capacitor. Parallel plate capacitor. Clear? Now see, this is the first plate whose charge density is a positive charge density, sigma. That is the second plate whose charge density is also equal to sigma, but with what type of charge? Negative charge. Both are having same area and both are separated by a certain distance. So this arrangement will act as capacitor. This derivation we have done. Now whenever two parallel sheets have been kept like this, where the electric field is present? Outside the plates or in between the plate?
Between.
In between. Very good. In between the plates alone, electric field is present. What is the value of that electric field? This also we calculated. What is that electric field? Okay, tell me what is the direction of the electric field at least?
From positive to negative.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. From positive to negative. Now for a parallel plate, for a charge sheet, what is the value of electric field? E equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. For each plate it is a sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So if you want to add sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, what is the value? What is the value? Sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. What is its value? Okay, one more small, very simple, I'll tell you. Half plus half, how much?
1.
1. Sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught is how much?
2 sigma by.
No. 2 sigma by
Yeah, 2 epsilon naught.
2 epsilon. So 2 gets cancels now.
Only 2 sigma.
Right? It is sigma by epsilon naught. Because 2 gets cancelled, it is sigma by epsilon naught. Whatever you said was correct. 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So 2 gets cancelled, it is sigma by epsilon naught. So that is the electric field. Remember this point. Again I'll ask. that is the area of the plate, and the distance between two plates is d, and that is the direction of electric field. Now see here, what is the potential formula? The relation between potential, electric field and distance is V equal to ED. In the first chapter itself, in the second chapter beginning we have discussed this. V equal to E times of D. But what is the value of D? What is the value of E? What is the value of E?
1 by
No. Just
1 by 4.
I told na what is the value of E between the plates? Sigma by
Sigma by epsilon.
epsilon naught. So sigma by epsilon naught into D. That is the value of potential. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Everyone. I repeat again. First of all, to find the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, we have to find the potential. What is the formula of potential? Potential is nothing but electric field times distance. Electric field times distance. V equal to ED. But what is the value of E between the plates? Sigma by epsilon naught. So sigma by epsilon naught into D. So this is the value of potential. Now what is the formula of capacitance?
Q by V.
Q by V. Very good. So see here now. We got one formula. V equal to QD by A epsilon naught. Oh, how it came? Sigma. Sigma is nothing but what?
Charge by
Charge by area. Surface charge density. Sigma is nothing but surface charge density. So what is the formula? Q by K. So if you substitute that, you are going to have the formula as V equal to QD by A epsilon naught. Is this step clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now as C equal to Q by V, if you substitute the value of V here, Q gets cancelled now. And rearrange, you are going to get C equal to A epsilon naught by D. This is the formula for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. One important derivation. Am I clear?
सर
Yes.
ये वो थर्ड का
Which
सी किसको मतलब
this one?
चेंज किया है जी
Which one?
लोअर पार्ट सी इज इक्वल टू क्यू बाय वी
This is the formula for capacitance, right?
यस सर
So whenever in place of V, if you write QD by A epsilon naught. Now here if I write QD by A epsilon naught goes to the numerator. Q will get cancelled. And what is left for you? A epsilon naught by D only now.
ओ यस सर
Understood now?
यस सर
Any other questions? Most important derivation, my first derivation out of 4 important derivations, this is the first one. C equal to A epsilon naught by D. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now see here. A little more we are going to add. If the space between the plates is filled with dielectric medium of relative permittivity ER, sometimes in place of ER we are going to have K also. Then what is the formula? C equal to A epsilon naught ER by D. So simply you have to write ER there. So whenever a dielectric is inserted between the parallel plate capacitor, always the capacitance will increases. This point you bluntly note it. Whenever a dielectric substance is present, means the capacitance will increase. Definitely it will increase. By how many times? By the dielectric constant times. Suppose if the dielectric constant is 60, initially the capacitance is C. If I insert this dielectric constant between the parallel plate capacitor, the new capacitance will become 60C. If it is a 10, it becomes 10C, like that. Understood? Any doubt? Anchal, Aishwarya, Sopi, BP, Angu. Jidar,
Yes, sir.
Bogo, is this clear? Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, the capacitance of a parallel capacitor is number one, directly proportional to area of the plates. Now, if you see the expression clearly, it is directly proportional to area of the plate. That means whenever the area increases, the capacitance will increases. Just like whenever the size of the bottle increases, the amount of water which you are going to fill will increases. Second one, inversely proportional to the distance of separation between them. Now, more the distance between the plates, less the capacitance will be. Less the distance between the plates, more the capacitance will be. Clear? That is about the factors on which the capacitance is said to be dependent. So first derivation completed. Shall I go for the second one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now the second derivation is nothing but series and parallel combination of capacitors. Just like how we are going to connect the resistors in series and parallel, in the same way we can connect capacitors also in series and parallel. Very common, very similar. I hope you all have done series and parallel combination of resistors. In the same way we are going to do series and parallel combination of capacitors. See the first one, series in that. Now I am going to consider capacitors whose capacitance was C1, C2 and C3 connected in series with respect to one another. I repeat again, series combination means plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. That is nothing but end to end connection. So the end of C1 is connected to the end of C2. The end of C2 is connected to the end of C3. Such type of connection is called as series combination. So series combination is also called as
Series.
yes, ma'am. Series combination is also called as end to end combination. END, end to end combination. So there are three capacitors are there whose capacitance are C1, C2, C3 connected in series. And these are connected with respect to a voltage source whose potential is V. Whose potential is V. Now, in series combination, what will remain constant? Generally, in series combination, what will remain constant in resistors? You start. Current will remain constant. Now, here for capacitors, current will not be there. What is present for capacitors? See the formula, C equal to Q by V. Correct? Charge is present. So, here charge will remain constant because current is nothing but charge by time only now.
Yes, sir.
So, in capacitors, in series combination of capacitors, what will remain constant? The charge will remain constant. So, what will divide? See the formula, C equal to Q by V. So, in C equal to Q by V, when Q remain constant, what is the other factor which is present? V is present. So, what will divide? V will divide. Understood? Understood everyone?
Can you repeat?
Ah.
आपका वॉइस क्लियर नहीं था, थोड़ा ब्रेक हो रहा था.
Again, I'll repeat. In series combination, generally current will remain constant. Here there is no current, there will be charge. So, charge will remain constant. What will divide? The voltage will divide. Understood? So, in series combination, number one, charge is the same in each capacitor. That means whatever the charge C1 will have, the same amount of charge is present on C2 and the same amount of charge is present on C3. That's the reason you can see that both plus and minus are same on each capacitor. Second, what is distributed here? Potential is distributed in inverse proportion to capacitance. So in inverse way, the potential will distribute. That means more the capacitance, less the potential it will have. Less the capacitance, more the potential will have. Because see the formula, C equal to Q by V. If you see C equal to Q by V, C is directly proportional to 1 by V. Inversely proportional na, with respect to potential. So whenever the capacitance is more, less potential it will have. If the capacitance is less, more potential it will have. That's the reason potential is distributed in inverse proportion to capacitance. That is the meaning of inverse proportion to capacitance. So charge will remain constant. So Q is the charge on first one, second one as well as third one. And V1 is the potential on the first capacitor, V2 is the potential on the second capacitor, and V3 is the capacitance on the third capacitor. So the total potential V has been divided into how many parts here? 3 parts. V1 for C1, V2 for C2, and V3 for C3. Now if I want total potential, what is the total potential then?
V1 plus V2 plus.
Very good. So that means V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 only na. This is your first equation. Understood? Understood everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No, I have given a battery of potential V. Now this potential is divided into how many parts? 3 parts only, na? Because how many capacitance I am having? 3 capacitance I am having. So this V is divided into how many parts here? 3 parts. The first part is 3 parts because 3 capacitors are there. So 3 parts it will divide. V1, V2, V3. Now if I add V1, V2, V3, what I should get? Total V only na.
Yes, sir.
Understood now?
Yes, sir.
So that is your first equation. But what is the formula for V? V equal to Q by C. That is the formula, right?
Q by.
V equal to Q by C.
Yeah.
Then if you apply the same formula for C1, what is the relation? What is the potential for C1?
Q by C1.
Q by C1. Very good. V1 equal to Q by C1. For a second capacitance C2, what is the relation?
Q by C2.
Q by C2. Very good. So V2 equal to Q by C2. For third capacitance, what is the relation?
Q by C3.
V3 equal to Q by C3. Now, in place of V, V1, V2, V3, you substitute Q by C, Q by C1 and Q by C2, Q by C3 in this equation. That is V equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So what are you going to get? So Q by C equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2 plus Q by C3 only na.
Yes, sir.
So Q is common in all. If I can cancel that, I am going to have the equivalent capacitance for series combination as 1 by C equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in a simplest form, we can write like this by using summation. Suppose if there are n capacitors are there which are connected in series, if I want the total capacitance, then 1 by C equal to summation of I equal to 1 to n 1 by Ci. This is a general expression. Summation means 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3 plus so on plus 1 by Cn. N times we have to take. So the reciprocal of the effective capacitance is the sum of the reciprocal of the individual capacitance. That is the total sentence for this representation. Note, the effective capacitance in series combination is less than the least of all the individual capacitance. So whenever the capacitors are connected in series, the total capacitance will be less than the capacitance of the smallest capacitor. It will be very, very less. Understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Now, next one, parallel combination. Just 2 minutes I will take. Now, in series combination, charge will remain constant, but potential will divide. But in parallel combination, what will remain constant? What will divide? In parallel combination, what will remain constant? What will divide? Opposite of that only, right?
V will remain constant.
Very good. V will remain constant in parallel combination. Then what will divide?
Q will divide.
Q will divide.
Q or
Yes, exactly. So here also I am taking three capacitors having capacitance C1, C2 and C3. All three are connected in parallel with respect to one another. Here parallel combination is called common terminal combination. Common terminal combination. So this is called as common terminal combination. So all three are connected with respect to a battery source called V. So this arrangement is called as a parallel combination. So all positives are connected to the positive end and all negatives are connected to the negative end. Such type of combination is called parallel combination. Parallel combination is also called as common terminal combination. Common terminal combination. Right? Now here in parallel combination, the potential will remain the same. That means across C1, C2 as well as C3, the potential is V alone. But the charge is redistributed, which is directly proportional to the capacitance. That means more the capacitance, more the charge it will have. Less the capacitance, less the charge it will have. So V is the potential which remain constant on all the three, and let Q1 be the charge on the first capacitor, Q2 be the charge on the second capacitor, Q3 be the charge on the third capacitor, where Q is the total charge produced by the source, that is the battery. Now the equation will be Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. That means if I add all the three charges, I am going to get the total charge produced by this source now. So Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. This is the equation for parallel combination. Now, but if you consider the formula, what is the formula? C equal to Q by V or Q equal to C into V. So if you apply that formula, what is the equation for first capacitance? Q1 equal to C1 into V and Q2 is equal to C2 into V, Q3 is equal to C3 into V. Am I clear?
yes, sir.
Because C equal to Q by V, so Q equal to C into V. And if you see the total capacitance, Q equal to CV only now.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you substitute all these values in the first equation, this equation, Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. So what you're going to have? You're going to have
CB.
CV equal to C1V plus C2V plus C3V. In all this, V remain constant. So if you cancel them, you're going to have
V will get V.
C equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is the formula for equivalent capacitance when capacitors are connected in parallel. So C equal to summation of I equal to 1 to n Ci. Now the sentence is, the effective capacitance is the sum of individual capacitances. Note, the effective capacitance in parallel combination is larger than the largest of all the individual capacitance. So whenever the capacitors are connected in parallel, the total capacitance will be higher than the capacitance of the larger capacitor. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So these are the two derivations for today which we have completed. Tomorrow I will discuss another derivation. Right? So practice these two derivations which are very important, and tomorrow I will discuss remaining two derivations. Any doubts you have, you can ask, otherwise I'll stop the class. I'll share the video, don't worry.
Thank you, sir.
Right, ma. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right, ma. Thank you.